Hello and welcome to this channel. I am Dr. Anshu coming back with the today's Hindu editorial analysis. Here I will cover the 24 June and 23 June current affairs. And thank you for connecting to this channel. And we have now the 100 plus subscribers and thank you for everyone who are visiting and liking the content. Hope you will stay connected, and those who are visiting first time to my channel, you can see the contents. If you like it, you can subscribe it, give me feedback, suggestion. It is open to all. And what I am thinking that I should start a new initiative like the prelim based facts that is in current affairs, like through the pictures, because our brain captures the picture memory more and retain to the longer time. So I thought I should use this picture in the shorts form for the prelims based facts in the current affair that is trending now. So it can be specifically to the state PCS, and already the state PCS are heading like Bihar, UP. So it can be it will cover like GI tags and specific science and tech, defense technologies that is used in currently. So I will cover in that form. So soon I will upload when I will I'm just collecting all the facts and newses that are in the current affairs, and I will use in the shorts. So stay connected to my channel and let's have a recap what we are going to cover. So the tutorial is going to be interesting. Stay connected till the last. So let's have a recap. So front page is covering about Iran launches a missile at a US bases in Qatar, Iraq. Next is incumbent parties retain 4 by-poll seats left loose out to Congress in Kerala. Second, covering about the sharp rise in number of women's must killed in security ops data shows, and our Jawans will win the war against Naxalism. Editorial covering Iran's program, the illusion of surgical strike. Fourth one is covering about the Gaza to Iran, Israeli illegal wars with a US support, and a Beach Utsav held across 3 states, stresses of the indigenous seed in agriculture sustainability. Fifth is covering about the opinions where inflation falls but not unemployment, and over 20 terror attacks identified, 9 under the Operation Sindoor. Sixth is Pakistan role in US West Asia calculus, and Iran parliament takes up bills to end up ties with IAE. Seventh is covering Israel strikes Iran guard site, even prison in Tehran and Fordo facility, and Operation Sindoor met all the objective, instilled fear in terrorists, says Rajnath. The eighth page will cover the 23 June current affair, where the US is attacks the Iran, strike 3 nuclear sites. So these are the I'm covering from the backward side. So firstly I've covered the recent current affairs, and then in the backward form in the 23 June. And Bihar elections mules intensive house to house verification of voter list. Ninth, covering the current affair, editorials about a lesson from Operation Sindoor, global outreach. So next editorial covering about the recognizing Adivasi identity in the census. 11th, covering about how will the foreign universities impact higher education, and Iranian missiles fired in the wake of US strike caused damage in Tel Aviv. And last, so these all are we are going to cover. So let's start with the front page with the thought of the day is the dream big, work hard and stay humble. So always aiming high, work for it, achieve it, and always be humble. Whatever you achieve, always stay humble. So these are thought of day. So let's start with the so let me starting from the 23, so that we can connect to the 24. So it will be the connecting link, because you already know the current affairs a series that is linked one after another. So let's start with the 23. So US attacks Iran, strikes 3 nuclear sites. So we have covered the news that US attacks Iran. Now US is also between the Iran and Israel war, and they attacked the Iran side. So three nuclear sites are covered here. Three nuclear sites attacked is Fordows, Natzan, and Isfahan. These are the three sites, and they uses. So this is the area where Tehran, Fordow, Nazar's, and Islam. Sorry. So the fears of the wider regional Israel against early by Sunday by dropping 30,000 pound bombs of uranium enrichment buried in the under the mountain of risky gambit that aimed for destroying Islamic Republic nuclear program. So US uses B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. It's B-2 Spirit stealth bombers. So it is the most advanced and secretive weapon in a US and specifically designed to penetrate the hardened defenses. And what are the so Iran parliament votes to close to Strait of Hormuz, and already we know that the Strait of Hormuz, Iran declared to closing the Strait of Hormuz, that connecting the supplying all the oils, or also impacting the India's through oil import through the UAE, Qatar, Saudi. So we have already discussed the editorial that how the Strait of Hormuz will affect the India's also, the impact of Iran and Israel war and closing of the Strait of Hormuz. So Parliament Majlis, so Iran Parliament is Majlis and has reportedly approved the closure of Strait of Hormuz on Iran nuclear facilities. So PM called for the immediate de-escalation of a conflict. Three prominent nuclear site in Iran and two leader is significant as a head of emergency meeting on the board of governor International Atomic Agency IAEA in the Vietnam, where US attack on Iran will be more subject of attentions. Next is the Bihar elections. Election Commission views the intensive house-to-house verification of voter lists. So allegations opposing parties over alleged manipulation of voter rolls. Election Commission on the Sunday was contemplating the intensive door-to-door verification for the revision of electoral rolls before the upcoming Bihar assembly elections. Already there is a so there should be a full transparency that misconduct happens, and again using the same voter list. So for preventing from all these things, it should be updated, and so that there is less errors, free of errors, and it was continued to door-to-door verification. Next we covered about the editorial of what are the lessons we can learn from the Operation Sindoor global outreach. So it is a beautiful editorial presented by Shashi Tharoor. So I added it that what and we can also use in the mains writing because Operation Sindoor is trending in these days. So the after the aftermath of April 22 Pahalgam terror attack, India's resolute response through the Operation Sindoor presented critical juncture of a national foreign policy, while immediate military actions was decisive. So subsequent diplomatic outreach was equally consultative, and international support leading on the 7 all-party parliamentary delegations to 5 countries. It's Western Hemisphere, Guyana, is Panama, Colombia, Brazil, United States offered a unique vantage point to reflect lesson learned from this intensive public diplomacy. So one of the most striking takeaways is the power of national unity. Just mark this important. National routine projecting strong foreign policy, very composition of our delegations featuring the member of parliament and diverse political different itself. Like the primary objective is to provide clarity on Operation Sindoor. It is rational, targeted in nature of India, initial strike against the terrorist infrastructure. So it is calibrated and measured in nature and its avoidance to any harm to civilian, even to Pakistani military facilities. So we meticulously explained that India's actions and ultimate exercises of self-defenses and the swift witness in several capitals statement expressing the condolence for supposed civilians, a parallel and equally crucial aspect for outreach the underscore of Pakistani continued borders aiming to the build global consciousness and beyond the decisive action against terror groups such as Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. Variable facts, consistent advocacy, cutting through the noise, reinforcing legitimate in India's position also. So, like beyond immediate crisis management, the tour served to a powerful reminder enduring the relevance of a soft power diplomacy, global appeal for a Bollywood. So, the T's for India strategy is a tradition of one of three T's that one that believe should be future of global strategy, tech, trade, and tradition all go together in promoting. So, the T's here believe it's a tech one, second is trade, and third is about tradition. So all go together in a well-established next frontier lies in a technological product. Innovations, age of artificial intelligence, diplomatic effort must actively promote the Indian technology innovation with international partners. This is not just economic growth but also for meaningful global progresses also. Like diplomatic outreaches must therefore seamlessly blend security concerned with economic opportunities, creating mutually beneficial partnership. One of a key messages was that India is focused on its growth, development, and also furthermore, the visits to countries such as Panama, Guyana, both current non-permanent member of UN Security (UNC), alongside the Colombia, anticipate in UNC tenure in 26 highlighted the broad spectrum nations. Panama expressed support for India's candidate for permanent seat of UNC. So the guiding principle is like several actionable recommendations from experience of South Central, including the reciprocal via VVIP visit, augmenting language proficiency, and it's a so the comprehensive briefing is a UN representative engaging directly even with the skeptics with the Brazil, particularly through the Prime Minister participations for upcoming BRICS summit, state visit, and high priority President Luis Nacio Lula da Silva emphasizes the importance of he attaches to relationship with India. So the Prime Minister Narendra Modi like a dynamism and willingness to engage a global stage but deserve a greater backing. A diplomatic outreach following Operation Sindoor was a moment of national resolve and effective communication. It affirmed that India United Project is voiced with clarity conventions, international platforms. So we must learn the power of unity. We learned that power of unity, efficacy of clear communication, strategic values of soft power, and imperative to the sustained public diplomacy will undoubtedly serve as the guideline principle for India's navigates. So beautifully presented here. Moving to the next about the recognizing the Adivasis' identity in census. So the much delayed gazette notification of census is held in 27 and already it's been late. It was going to be held in 21 but now it is already 6 years late. So it is going to be held in 27. So it is criticized a lack of clarity on the promised caste enumerations, but there is hardly any discussion of long-standing demand of SC/ST communities, including the system of faith. Census include religious demography of India through the registration of personal religious belief, religious mention in Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Jainism, Buddhism, and for those who believes there is a general column titled other religious is ORP. There is no column of belief of STs. The omission is unconstitutional on several counts. So the constitution has a specific provision for protection of a belief, customs and tradition of ST such as reflected in 5th and 6th schedules. So article 371A and 371B specifically have a protection customary law and practices in Nagaland and Assam respectively. So it's a special provision for customary law practice in Nagaland and Assam. So Article 25 is your right to profession, practice, propagate one's faith. Article 26 guarantee that right to manage religious affairs. For ST, these rights must be translated into the recognition and distinct phased beliefs in worship and restriction. So this restriction in census to 6 lakh people registered themselves under ORP. And it's a other religious persuasion, it's ORP. And thus ST communities could not register their religious or spiritual identity and had to misidentify other religions. So the majority of Adivasis live in the rural habitats, like they have a little information about the meaning of ORP choices. So they are lacking from these things. So it is only here the ST organization have provided information regarding registration of specific faith under ORP. The number of ORP go on up. So this found a breakdown of ORP provided appendix to census table in Jharkhand where the Sarna based mobilization registration is specifically was the highest in each state, 49 lakh. So telling the data about Jharkhand here, Madhya Pradesh, also the some parts of Madhya Pradesh. So 49 lakh people here. and Gonds is significant over a lack of individual register. Gond faith in ORP column. So the other words, there is information breaks on obfuscations of ORP column, and communities prefer to register their own face. So issue gain importance because of reality of change in political context affecting Adivasis' right. And under the Modi government, the RSS group have strengthened the narrative of Vanvasis, forest dweller, are historically part of greater Hindu family. And RSS run in school in poor ST area. So this also reveals the utter hypocrisy of for RSS is actually content for ST identity. So entire centralization and homogenization is one for one nation, one culture project of the current regime negatively affecting the Adivasis community. And among 700 communities recognized as ST. So it is both communality and diversity. India is in a fact well represented by ST group. So need for a separate column. So there is honestly passed a resolution seeking inclusion of Sarna as separate religion in the 2021 census. BJP did not dare to oppose this. This was sent to this. So just concluding this article here. Moving to the next is about how will the foreign universities impact the higher education. So what is the opportunity to prospect the foreign universities setting in campuses in India? So should we allow the foreign universities, and how it will impacting this, like the several foreign universities setting in branches camps in India. So far the universities from UK, 5 from Australia, 1 from US, Italy, Canada are process of obtaining the necessary approval done already. So most of these were a gift city in Navi Mumbai, while India has been interested in attracting foreign universities for more than decades for new education policy. NEP revived, and government subsequently approved the UGC setting up operation campuses on foreign higher regulation. So why are the foreign universities coming? The countries of global north embarked on massive expansion of higher education post Second World War to accommodate the growing number of young people headed to college. Over time, however, falling birth rates and domestic enrollments started to the plateau and then fall. So there is a physical infrastructure, human capital, higher educations too large, diminishing the number. So in India, in 23, international students represent 22% of enrollment. UK universities, 24% in Australia, 30% Canada. So 6% foreign universities are international students. So they make for 27% student Ivy League languages in 4 host countries like Australia, Canada, UK and US. Has become financially reliant for varying degrees on international students. And these are the past year. However, there is a blowback. Like Australia and Canada have capped their international student. In UK, the new rules introduce reduce the number of student visa applications. These are the problem tackles here. So what is challenges are like young population relatively low but steadily rising in gross enrollment, and ratios is over 30%. Immune opportunities also. The branches campuses part of a world Southeast China. And Iranian missiles fired in a wake of a US strikes causes a damage in Tel Aviv. So Iran launched more than 40 missiles toward the Israel on Sunday morning, and 23 people destroying apartment buildings, homes in a city, 3 cities. Israel strike dozen targets in Islamic nation including Bushehr and Yazd. So there is a US struck 3 Iranian nuclear sites. Iran launched more than 40 missiles toward the Israel on Sunday, wounding 23 people and destroying apartment building, impacting the Tel Aviv. These are the shelters and the capital here, Tel Aviv. And Deputy Mayor Hamim. So attacking the Tel Aviv, the second largest, Israel's second largest city, and it's attacking on the assisted on this. It was a miraculous that more people was not hurt, but relative and health and it's helped the residents too on wheelchair to walk up. So 23 people destroying apartments, building an Islamic nation. So let's back to the today's current affair. So already we heard that US attacked. After that, Iran also launched a missile at a US bases in Qatar, Iraq. Iran launched the missile attack at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, and largest American base in West Asia, and also the evening at retaliation of US strike at Islamic Republic nuclear facilities. So here the Qatar said successfully intercepted the missiles and there were no deaths and injuries. So here the projectile in the sky over the Doha, Qatar, after the Iran armed forces targeted the Al Udeid base. Already discussed. Iran strike also target the AN Al bases of US in a western Iraq, and Qatar Al Udeid air base is about 10,000 American soldiers in the central US command. And we are like it also impacting the other their neighboring countries also, and we are on the verge of that state that world war is approaching very soon. Like Russia Ukraine is on another way, is now the US is also participating in Israel and Iran war. And if and now Iran is the weakest center here. If America is with the Israel, then there is no support from. If Russia is busy, Russia has the a biggest armed force and weapons country. If they can help to Iran, but they are busy in their Ukraine war, and one the China, whether he will participate or not, we don't know. So let's the state is on the, you can say that this is a very high time for every countries. It should be the ceasefire should be announced here. The incumbent parties retain 4 bypoll seats left loose out of Congress in Kerala. So after the neighboring Delhi Assembly elections, after this, Aam Aadmi Party was in good news for its retained Punjab, Ludhiana, West Gujarat seats after the result of by-election in 5 seats across the 4 states. That is announced Monday. And All India Trinamool ATAC retained in Kaliganj, West Bengal, Nilampur in Kerala. Opposition Congress and Bharatiya Janata Party managed to retain in Kalindi in Gujarat. So these are the data of poll pulses of West Bengal, who are the winners from there. Next is about the why there is a sharp rise in the number of women must killed. The security ops data shows. So faced with the threats, many poor Adivasi parents prefer to part with this girl child. This reason behind a large number of girls, women being present, the Maersk cadre, state home ministry says. So there has been sharp increase in share of women must being killed in 2024-25 compared to the previous year Chhattisgarh. So women is protecting, women is only act as a shield in a most. They are not capable of fronting in the mainstream. They just act as a shielded. That's why they are killed in more number. There is already noted the Maoist left wing extremism, and we can say Naxalism in India. So these all are same terms, that the Maoist that have their own thinking. They don't believe in any government. They do not believe in their any rule system. They make their own rule system and want to run according to it. So they are the Maoist cadres killed since 24. More than 1/3 of elite Maoist cadre killed since 24 operations by police. And these mainly the reason are in the Chhattisgarh of Bastar region also, where there is a lot of Maoist found, and there is the data shows here about there is increase in the percentage of women Maoist cadre being killed in the security operation 24-25 compared to the previous year, coinciding with a rise in number of operation amid a call by ministry. So 24 Maoist killed here is 272, out of which 74 were women, and 195 out of 82 were women. And here Maoist killed is 65, 40, 51, 20 respectively. So what is the killed 7, 13 killed respectively? So there is the MHA patriarchal tendencies here about they have formed a Bal Dastas comprising the young children in Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, and the idea is to brainwash and indoctrinate the young children to Maoist ideology. And most of them do not want to part with their children, but faced with a coercion threat, so many poor Adivasi prevent to part with the girl child. The inhuman practices by Maoist is the reason behind a large number of young women present among the Maoist cadre is on website. And also there is a forefront of engagement with security in spite of Maoist professing disapproval of patriarchy. Number of women in the top elections in their leadership are negligible also, and the Maoist wish to keep a population stronghold. So the mainstream milieu school are attacked because education promotes spirit of inquiry and local population set there. And here the earlier young girls, particularly tribal rural areas, where the air courses are misled to joining the Maoist group. And they are largely used for as a foot soldier and human shield by leadership, not as a mainstream but as a foot shoulders, human shield by leadership, and the various form of physical emotional hardships were subjected to this. So they remain committed to addressing the issue with both sensitivity and determination, and priority continues to promotion of voluntary and to these human gender insensitive rehabilitation policies. So this should be stopped here. The percent graph is increasing like this. So next is the Japan. So then for preventing, our Jawan will win the war against Naxalism. So Home Minister for Naxal violence deprived poor tribal people of basic necessities before March 26, and is the security person in Nawa Raipur, Chhattisgarh. In anti-Naxal operation being conducted in the Bastar region of Naxalism had deprived the poor tribal population basic necessities. So there was a words by Amit Shah interacting with the security personnel engaged in anti-Naxal operations, and he added that he said that it is a trust in our security that forces inspired to keep retaliating, and Naxalism should be ended here, should be ended, and 40,000 peoples over past 35 years, while many had been disabled, left disabled. So it's a slavery for decades. Naxal violence deprived poor tribal population basic necessities, food, electricity, education, toilets, etc. Let alone any possibility industrial development. Entire regions were be forced to live in condition for slavery for decades, and root causes of suffering. This was the root causes of suffering from Naxalism, because they don't provide these basic things, and they are fighting for the basic necessities, so that anyone is able to brainwash them, and depriving and pressuring the tribal population. Basically, government was enjoying the delivery of food, healthcare, so sanitation, so that connecting the people with mainstream development. And child pick up the pencil instead of guns begin with a khaga, the Devanagari letters. It doesn't change the future but child, but the entire nation. These are the words said by him. Moving to the next is about Iran programs the illusion of a surgical strikes. So it's a illusion of surgical strikes. You can say that, like inside the Iran nuclear program, one of the uranium enrichment facilities, most notably Fordo and Natsa, as a buried underground and reinforced the much steel reinforced concrete mountain over city of Guam 80 centimeter. So underground nuclear bunker could be penetrated through the specialized bunker busting maintenance US developed GBU 57. So GBU 57 ordinance is massive ordinance penetrator MOP, and this bomb is designed to penetrate up to 60 meter, and this is specialty that it can penetrate up to 60 meter of earth, 18 meter of reinforced concrete. And here about one more is the B2 spirit. MOP requires the B2 spirit or B52 Stratoforce bomber, both which are exclusive to Air Force. These belong to US Air Force. And then caused an online stir after announced having a B2 Spirit 24. So Israel does not have any area of air to underground. It's a GBU 28 which can penetrate the reinforced bunker, and it's roughly about 30 meter on the earth. So it's even if the Nazans and Fordo were destroyed, Iran could rebuild them, and possibly faster than past, having learned lessons from destructions. And like Israel has successfully executed it's a primitive strike in past against the Uzaiq reactors. In Syria's, it's a Al Aqaba facility 2007, and it's a military scientific infrastructure. It's a Iran nuclear program is spread out, dedicated here. And conflict, if the reason why Israel leader both present in the south of US backing, like any significant, there is a reason here, like US backing for any single military action is, like Donald Trump in his earlier previous tenure hinted multiple times that Israel might be given access to advanced American technology, MOP class weapon. So it's Iran logistical policies cost and selling the like in 22 task resurfaced around selling Israel bunker busters and bombs capable of penetrating, and Hezbollah in Lebanon. So it's giving all the it's all about the launching operation that would require access regional space. They can rebuild it, and there is something that is if there is a US is with the Israel, then there is their own advantages also. So US was to provide operational assistance for Israel military action, and logistical political costs for both US and Israel would be momental. So reverse diplomacy is like it's a regional war that would likely to disturb global world supplies, destabilize already fragile states, track the US and allies for portrait conflict. US withdrawal from deal in 28. Iran has violated the terms of JCPOA agreement by lifting the cap on stockpile of uranium, and new nuclear deal will undoubtedly be harder to negotiate, like especially amid the regional turmoil. Feasible launching a war that cannot be guaranteed decisive outcome, alternative, and idea of a clean surgical actions, military, not the military action. So what is the need of not military action but diplomatic strategy? That is a multilateral pressure, careful verification, and robust step. Just go through editorial once time. What was left? I covered it all. Yeah. Fourth one is about that Gaza to Iran, Israel illegal war grows to US support. So the chart one shows about the the number of food trucks and food allowed to Gaza in last 1 year. And number 2 shows the number of attacks carried over Israel in West Asia from October 7, Palestine. And chart 3 says the number of persons killed due to the Israel attack in West Asia. So the resolution passed here, how the US, Israel and India voted on key resolution concerning Palestine, said in October 7, 23. So fewer than 1,000 food trucks entered in the Gaza in past 2 months and increased up to 2 lakhs ton. So US just ended the remains like of the Gaza, and now Iran. So it's a whole the data shows the entry of the food trucks into Gaza and number of attacks carried out in Israel, West Asia. So these are close to 60,000 people have been killed in attacks and carried out by Israel in 615 days, and more than 55,000 people were from Palestine, with the 17,000 victims from being children apart from Gaza. Just go through one time. Next is a Beej Utsav held across 3 states of the indigenous seed in agriculture. So promoting the own bees, there is a festival, Beej Utsav, that held in tribal belt of Tri Junction of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. So it's highlighted the indigenous seed in agriculture sustainability to rebuild its community-led system. Like there is a tribal communities including children participate in event during. And the festival was organized simultaneously in over 60 panchayats spread the 3 states on a tri-junction we already discussed. Like activities include here is Beej Samvad, biodiversity fairs, seed ball making, plantation drives, seed dialogue. So community honored include Beej Mitra, it's Beej Mitra, Beej Mata, seed mother, were awarded to exemplary seed preserving farmers. How they are preserving this way to promoting indigenous seeds also. And the community led institution including Krishi Evam Adivasi Swaraj, Gram Swaraj, Saksham Samu, Bal Swaraj Samu were instrumental in organizing the festival. So these are the instrumental in organizing the festivals, community led institution, and they were supported by the Banswara based voluntary group. It's a Vagdhara which works on tribal livelihood issues, and it not just considered a foundation of farming but also trade the symbol of identity, nutrition, culture, resilience, tradition. So it's Vagdhara Secretary Jayesh Joshi said on Jaipur on Monday, 70% of small farmer depend on market of hybrid seeds. So the Beej Utsav is a powerful reminder to reclaim our seed and dignity. So basically return back to the roots also. And farmer need to reunite the roots and join the community-led culture that change the food and also the food security. I covered this. Yeah. What is the Pakistan roles in US West Asia calculus? The whole article editorial is describing how the Pakistan is supporting Pakistan's role in the US West Asia calculus. After the US supported in Operation Sindhu during of the India and Pakistan conflicts, and after that somehow the US supported the Pakistan. There is no denial in this thing. And what are their own advantages? What are their own shake? It is just for the nomination to the Nobel Peace Prize for Donald Trump. Is it like that? So there is the head of, and now the army, the Chief Army Munir Chief Army Munir here inviting to the White House for the dinner. And what is the, so basically this was already the plan that how they will attack from the Iran, and they are supporting and how the Pakistan is supporting in this. So this is all interest about what is the US interest here. So General Asim Munir private lunch with the Donald Trump at White House in June 18 protocol. So their head of state projecting for subcontinent contest also, and they are like US Central Command CENTCOM praise the Pakistan values as a partner in a so they are promoting terrorism also, although they know about it after the Vietnam and Afghanistan, how they are instead of lefting the two countries that their own self-reliant, they are supporting the terrorism in the open way. And after knowing everything, so it's a cycle for slavery has a broken, and US Asia's importance for South than South Asia. So it does not like the idea of losing the status, been attacking here. Pakistan plays a role in isolating the Iran in the case of conflict with Israel, and Iran depends upon the imports of most of the food requirements, trade routes, Persian Gulf, closing the ports along the Persian Gulf. So Pakistan announced the time General Munir arrived in Washington, closure of land and Pakistani nation. Iran under the Shah regime, Air Force now Pakistan has slammed the door shut in Iran face. Just denying the support. Although he said that he will, but now he was not slamming the face. And also in the heart of the conflict in Balochistan, which never wanted to join Pakistan, the Khan of Kalat declared the independence in 1947, supported the Loya and Jinnahs initially recognized the Balochistan's independence. In later, he sent the troops to suppress the new founded state. So Balochistan was wanted independent state from that time, but how they are suppressing by the Jinnah and considered now the thrust of General Munir speech was suppressing the Balochistan national struggle. So Balochistan is strategically important as it border the Balochistan province of Iran, where the Chahar port is located. So Gwadar is essentially military facility for Chinese Navy, not transport hub. So Pakistan discovered the new fault lines to exploit the timing for US entries for better Pakistan point of view. Next is that Iran parliament takes up the bill to end the ties with IAEA. So IAEA he was discussing a bill that would pave the suspending Tehran's cooperation international agency IAEA. Mohammad Bakir Khalif, Islamic Consultative Assembly, announced on Monday. So announcement was held by the Majlis even as the IAEA, Iran Parliament, meeting its board of governor of Vienna, where director of General Grossi said global nuclear watch resulted to bring its military conflict. And according to its religious decree on the supreme leader, Iran has the peaceful, non-peaceful activities. So the atomic energy has a full filled with the army obligations, and governor of meeting in the Vienna, so crossing the caution against it. This go through is suspension of the from the IAEA. Here what are the bases here that attacked. So Israel strike the Iran guard site, even present Tehran Fordo facility. So here the even present Tehran Monday called the greater Iranian capital city 11th day of war. So loud explosion, rocked here, and unprecedented forces speculations target prison, even prison which is hold the political prisoners. And about the Iranian media said that also struck the Fordo, a key nuclear enrichment facility buried deep in the mountain of Tehran. So military said that it had struck the Fordo on Monday. So it is a power outrage. Sirens are sounded across the Monday's blast were heard over Jerusalem. And these are damages, reported damages near a strategic infrastructure. While meanwhile, Russia President Vladimir Putin slammed at attacks as an unprovoked and unjustified meeting with Tehran. And Abbas Araghchi but did not announce any concrete support. Is key ally in West Asia. But they are busy in their own war. So Operation Sindoor met all the objective, instill fear in terrorists, says Rajnath. It replaces the Wings to Hope. So there is a book about it's a Wings to Hope. Wings to Hope. It's volume 2. It's a curated collection of 51 speeches of Mrs. Momolu, and it's a Hindi and English with an e-version. So it's a Supreme Commander of Defense, our President. So it gives inspiration to many women who are describing as the best example of women-led development in India, adding the leadership of Supreme Commander of Armed Forces. Indian soldiers carry a historic operation during achieving all the objectives, instilling fear in the mind of terrorists. So it's a guiding the light. It's a raising from the address to nation as well as universities, innovation, contribution, development. So this book will become the guiding light to Viksit Bharat and progressive thoughts while preserving our glorious heritage. I covered this, already covered this. So whole editorial is now ended here. So let's have a summary and end this session. So front page we already covered with this, that Iran launches a missile at US bases. Next we cover about the sharp rise in the increase in the women must killed in security ops, and it's preventing Jawan will win the war against Naxalism. 7th, we covered about Iran program illusion of surgical strike. 4th, we covered about the data and Bij Utsav. 5th, we covered about the inflation falls but not unemployment. Yeah, I think this is, just go through it. I think this is so much, just go through this. Inflation and unemployment. 6th, we covered about the Pakistan role in US West Asia calculus and Iran parliament. 7th, we covered about the Israel strike Iran guard side and Tehran. Operation Sindoor met all the objective. 8th, we covered about 23 June current affair about US attack on Iran strikes 3 nuclear site and Bihar elections. 9th, we cover about the Operation Sindoor, what relations we can learn. 10th, we cover about the recognizing Adivasi identity in census. 11th, we covered about the foreign universities impact on higher education. So that's for today. Thank you for today, and thank you for connecting to this channel, and just share more and more. Whoever did preparing for it need a current affairs editorials, whatever they are not able to reach it, just go through it. Maybe I'm able to deliver it my best, and I will try to deliver in the best way possible way. Just give me a feedback and suggestion, whatever the changes you want to it, whatever changes I can add. Give me lecture, whether it is good, bad, anything else. It will help me improvement a lot. And thank you. And if you are connecting to first time to my channel and still connected to the last, just stay connected till my channel. It will be updated. I will update all the current affairs, everything, and I will also going to add the prelims based fact also in through the shorts. So thank you. We will meet in the next session. Till now, good night. Take care. Study well. Keep your morale high, and not let the negative emotions to come in the front of you. Determine with your willpower. Work with your willpower. Stay strong. Thank you and good night.